Hey, welcome to a brand new episode of the Woodpreneur podcast. This is your host, Steve Larziliere. And today we want to talk a little bit about leverage and how you can get it in your business. So, for those that don't know, I'm Steve Larziliere. I'm the president, founder of Builder Growth, and host of this podcast. We help wood and building businesses grow and scale by implementing marketing systems into their business. And so, one of the things that I have thought a lot about and have seen in my business and working and helping woodpreneurs like yourself grow and scale um, was just the concept of leverage and what that actually means. And so, in many ways, a lot of woodpreneurs understand what leverage is because you all invest in tools in your business. Like all of you invest in tools in your business. But somehow, when it comes to the marketing and business side of your business, you don't deploy leverage there. And so I put together this little training to show you what leverage looks like in your business on the production side, um, but then also what it could potentially look like on the marketing and business side. Because uh, what's the sense of buying all these tools if you don't have the customers in order for you to do it? And so oftentimes there's like this chicken and egg thing going on where a lot of you think that you need to have everything prepared and all of the tools in place before you start marketing. And so I would argue to say that it's quite the opposite. So build a brand first, get the customers, invest in the tools afterwards. So let me show you what leverage looks like on your business. All right. Um, all right. So leverage in your wood business. So I'm going to show you a couple examples just to kind of illustrate what leverage looks like. So, if you are milling lumber back in the day, right, in the 1800s, before there were, 1700s, before there was any photographs, there were illustrations of people sawing logs by hand, right? Like big logs, and it probably took you a day to mill one log, right? Um, Maybe they had other people doing the same thing together, but for the most part, that's what it looked like, right? And then uh, you know, a chainsaw was invented, so this gives you a little bit more leverage. So you use a chainsaw mill. Shout out to Granberg Alaskan Mill, right? So like so you can attach a chainsaw to a mill, and it allows you to cut logs. So instead of one a day, you could probably do one log an hour with a chainsaw mill. Um, and then, what gives you more and more leverage is if you have a bandsaw mill, right? If you have a bandsaw mill, you could do, a few logs in an hour with the bandsaw mill. So that's an example of leverage when it comes to milling lumber. Now let's talk about leverage as it relates to drying lumber. And so let's look at drying lumber. So you can air dry lumber, and that can take years to dry, right? So lots of people, many of you potentially have stacks and stacks of lumber that you've been air drying. And they say it's 1 inch per year. So if you have a 2 inch slab, you are drying that for 2 years air dried. um, and then something that gives you more leverage is if you have a dehumidification kiln, right? Now you go from years to months. So you look at, 3, 4 months. And then if you want even more leverage, you can look at a vacuum kiln. And a vacuum kiln, instead of months, now you're looking at weeks or days, depending on the species, right? And so we're looking at, 7 to 14 days with a vacuum kiln. So Even with drying lumber, there's deploying leverage by employing a tool, right? And so now let's look at finishing the product. You can, you know, hand sand, and sometimes you need to hand sand, but imagine if you literally had to hand sand your every piece of furniture, right? That would take you forever. Or you can use an orbital sander that gives you more leverage there, right? But again, orbital sander is only so big and you can cover only a small amount, right? Or you can use a wide belt sander and that saves you a ton of time. Each tool that you use costs more money, but then makes you more and more efficient, right? So now let's look at the marketing and business side of your wood business, right? So you're a sawyer, you're a furniture maker, you're a sawyer, you're a furniture maker, you a woodworker, you do built-ins, right? Most of you are using word of mouth, right? And you with word of mouth is great. It's essentially a free customer that you've gotten and they've come to you. And you're relying on a customer to tell somebody else about about you and your products and service. And then they come to you for a project. The downside is you are relying on someone else out of your control in order for them to tell you about your business. And that is problematic unless you have a system in place in order for that to happen. So in order for this to work, you need to deploy leverage, and it's a system that you can build, right? Like as soon as a client is done and you delivered a project, you ask if there's anybody else that you can refer to, or you can take pictures, or you get a review, or you take a picture with them and the client, yourself, your client, and your finished piece or whatever you delivered. You share it to your Facebook page, right? Like there are things that you can do to maximize word of mouth. And then, and then maybe it's a referral fee, or maybe it's a credit towards more work. That's where you can deploy leverage. But that doing it itself, that by itself, is basically like air drying, is basically like using a hand sander, right? It's reliable, it's free, it's low cost, but it's hard to like truly scale on word of mouth. All right. So the next part is like social media, right? Social media gives you leverage. Like you can have a Facebook, an Instagram, a TikTok, a LinkedIn, or whatever, a YouTube, like, but you post content to social media, and maybe you're using hashtags, maybe you're using certain types of content, pictures and video, and what's happening after that is that you are allowing or relying on the algorithm to show your posts to the right people. Again, this gives you so much more leverage than word of mouth, because maybe you can tag a client and it spreads it more. So this is more leverage than word of mouth, right? I love posting to social media, but again, you need a strategy. You need a way for yourself to get your message in front of more people. And that is really, really crucial. That alone is more than just doing word of mouth. However, you need a strategy there. The next step after just posting to social media is online advertising. So Google AdWords, Facebook ads, Instagram ads. That's even better. That gives you more leverage because now you're putting dollars behind your posts and your advertisements, and then you're allowing the social media platforms to spread it to more people. So now more people know your message, they know your products, they know your services. Again, anybody can do this. You can just boost things, you can write captions, put the right photos, the right videos, and get it to the right people. Again, you can do this on your own, or a lot of you have tried to do this and you're like, oh, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And I would argue to say is that it didn't work because you didn't know what you were doing. You literally had zero idea what you were doing because you have this tool in front of you. It's kind of like getting a new CNC or getting a new mill or getting a new kiln and just trying it out without actually learning how it's done, right? So that's another form of leverage right there. Again, if you are boosting posts, you're getting your message in front of more people, you're also posting to social media, that's more leverage. That is way better than just leveraging word of mouth. All right. So now I'm going to talk about the next level of leverage was when beyond that is that hiring and training a virtual marketing team to work in your business. And so this is kind of what we do in our and what we do for folks like you is that what we do is that we hire and train a virtual assistant that you pay $5 to $7 an hour, and you put them and we place them in your business so that they can oversee your online advertising. They can oversee and post for you on social media, and they can help amplify your word of mouth. And they can even book appointments for you and do more research on your ideal customer and email them and post to their and tag them and get your message in front of them. This is one of the most amazing pieces of leverage because now you have this skilled, trained person that's in your business saving you time, because that's the thing you don't have. You don't have a lot of time. You don't have time to do marketing. You're busy building. You're busy paying taxes. You're busy paying bills. You're busy sweeping up, maintaining your shop. It's insane how much work that you're doing as a woodpreneur. And so by having a virtual marketing specialist, which is what we do in our marketing systems program that we're launching, is that we're going to train these folks to be in your business. And mind you, I've leveraged virtual assistants in my business in order for me to grow it. And so we vet them, we train them, we screen them, we recruit them, we train, like we're doing everything and placing them in your business. Okay, so that's if you did all of that, you could, increase revenue by 50%. No lie. Okay, so the next form of leverage is having a community of peers supporting you. So oftentimes, like being a woodpreneur, being an entrepreneur, period, is so difficult. It is incredibly difficult because nobody knows what you do. They only see your end product, but they don't know how hard you work. Maybe your spouse knows how hard you work. Other woodpreneurs know how hard you work. But imagine being in a community of people that are all investing in themselves. All of these people are investing in themselves. All of these people, they have different life experience, different business experiences. Some of them are making the same much as you. Some of them are making twice or 3 times as much as you. And every week, or you were in a community together where you were pushing and motivating each other all the time. If you needed help on pricing, you needed help sourcing an item, you were just feeling down, your confidence needs to get up. Imagine being able to be part of a community. And that's what we have when you work with us. Like, you have a community of people that want you to succeed. And by the way, you're not trying to get help from a forum from somebody that literally have zero idea on how to grow and scale a business, right? These are a hand-vetted group of people that want to see you succeed. So a community is super important. And then the next form of leverage is having a branding and marketing framework, a playbook designed for you, a playbook designed for your goals, a playbook and a framework for you to on what to do every step of the way for 6 months so that you can reach your revenue targets, right? That's what you get when you work with Builder Growth and our program. And then lastly, you have a mentor in me to help guide you along the way. Like, I mean, if you're watching this on YouTube, like there's this guy here. It's supposed to be me. It should be a black guy, but it's not. It's a white guy. But yeah, I'm guiding you and mentoring you along the way. And by the way, I've got my own mentors and I've got my own guides in my own business, and they make lots and lots of money. And they've seen all sorts of business. And these are the people that I tap into when I don't know. But I've grown in scale, 7 and 8 figure businesses. I built my own 7-figure business. I built 2 6-figure businesses, high 6-figure businesses. And for many of you, this is the path that you need in order for you to reach your goals. Like, I'm tired of people saying like, oh, I'm happy just working in my garage and doing this. Like, you don't have a business. You got a hobby that pays good money. And I want you to think bigger for yourself. And part of that means employing and deploying leverage in your business. And so moving beyond word of mouth, beyond just posting to social media, beyond just boosting ads, right? You need to add a team member, a low-cost team member. You need to be part of a community that wants to see you succeed. You need your own customized plan, and you need a mentor. Like, because otherwise, literally, who's got time? Nobody's got time to just mess up along the way. And some of you are content just like waiting a couple years to reach your goals. But honestly, if you want to reach your goals now, like reach out because you can go to, and book a time to talk to our growth advisor, and they will help walk you through what the potential is for your business. A lot of you don't actually know what you're sitting on. You're sitting on gold, and you already know how to do every bit of wood project that's out there, right? Like, all of you know how to build stuff. Like, now all you need is customers, you need clients, you need the right brand, you need a marketing plan strategy, and you need more leverage. And so I'm super excited to show you this framework of employing leverage in your business. And this is something that we're going to be pushing more and more within the Woodpreneur community. And we've literally built a program and a system, and it's a 6-month program around it. And so if you're interested, go to go.buildergrowth.io/booking. Once again, that's go.buildergrowth.io/booking, and book a time to talk to our growth advisor. This is, before you do it, I want you to be super clear on what you want in your business. We're going to help you, and we want to help people that know exactly what they want and that have made money, but they've reached a certain threshold and they want to get to that next level. They want to break past multiple 6 figures, and they know that they have it in them, but they just don't know how to get there. And so I'm excited to talk to you. My team is, and I want you to be my next successful case study. That's what I want. All right. Thanks so much for checking out this podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode. All right.